Right. They weren't making any money.
If they'd have hung on to it, see what they'd have had. But anyway, funny how things turn out.
So that must have been a lot of trouble to have to go all that way.
That's probably how come my grandpa was able to have loans on all of the farmland that he owned, because Omaha, was where I think he and his sister owned this oil supposed to be giving them money, and they probably the land company owned that too, I imagine. I don't know. But just a kid remembering some of that stuff.
Wow, I had no knowledge of any of that, Mom.
I
wonder how they got that oil land. I mean, do you have any knowledge how they got it?
I don't know. How did he move from... That grandpa came from Ireland.
And he ended up owning
And he came over with his mother. Not with his dad.
That's Pat.
Yeah. I don't know if he had brothers or not. He must have had brother. Isn't that weird? I don't remember. Well, I was only a little kid when he died. I was 7 or 8 years old when he died, And he died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
He was out doing something on one of the farms with the boys, and I was with Grandma in town, and they came in to tell her that Grandpa had died. I remember that. Oh, it was so sad.
Yeah.
Well, it was with me. I was just a little kid. Can you imagine?
Sure.
I can remember the house that they lived in, and the drawer that someone come into to tell Grandma that Grandpa had died.
Yeah.
He died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
But no wonder all the things he got into. Goodness sakes. He came here and homesteaded land out in Butler County. That's how he started.
Yeah, so he was a pioneer.
Yes, he was.
His first person to work that land, right?
Yes.
He got it. Basically, the Indians had it before he had it.
But not that land where they live. I imagine he was the first one to break the land in where the boys all had farms too. I don't know how much further his farm was from here. From his, Mount Evil was up.
So when he homesteading means that he didn't have to pay anybody for it. He just
he just had to live there.
Just had to live there.
Take care of it.
Just
And that's how it happened.
Mark it off and say, this is my property.
Yeah. But they had to live without water, without anything.
Yeah, well, just...
That was my grandpa did that.
Right.
And his dad did it.
They did that right in Green?
I don't know.
That was in Green, they were.
It wasn't green then. It was just farmland.
Right, but I mean, that's location where it was.
It was more out Butler County, but it was more west of Green.
Of Green. If you were to place that particular farm.
You remember where Mount Evil was?
Yeah.
Well, see, that was quite a ways. That was up, and that was hilly ground. He probably got that because it was supposed to be no good.
Right. He showed up and nobody else had claimed it, so he claimed it. He claimed it, right? I mean, you get what you can, right?
When he had it, I can remember there was a barn and a house on it.
Oh, well, you mean already?
Well, it wasn't good ones, but there was
So somebody had built a barn?
Well, no, but maybe he had. I don't know, but that's how I remember it.
Sure.
As a teenager.
Probably he showed up, there was nothing there.
The only time I remember being up there is when my dad would go up to work up there. sometimes us kids would go along and they'd have us doing stuff around stuff I didn't want to do, I imagine. And we'd go along with my dad, you know. Because Mount Nebo was quite a few miles from where we lived.
Sure. Why would you go to Mount Nebo?
You go up there to work the land so to get the money for Grandma.
For Grandma, yeah.
That's what they did.
They had to do that. Did they do that every day?
Well, they did it all year. You know, they'd plant the corn and the whatever, mostly corn, and hay. I remember hay for the horses.
Yeah.
Of course. And when they would sell it, Grandma got the money, and the boys never got anything for working, you know.
Right.
What they did was to help their mom live.
Sure.
Otherwise, she couldn't have lived.
Right.
And what happened was, she'd get the money to go into the bank. I can remember that. And when Grandma needed money, all she had to do was go there and they'd give her money to get groceries and stuff. It was a different world. But that I can still remember.
Well, I think that's very interesting. Now, so he died, and then she died years later, and they never lived on the farm. They just farmed it.
Not that I remember. Now they might have been on the farm. Certainly, when they were first married.
When they were first married, because there probably even wasn't. There may not even have been a green at the time.
I don't know. They might have been on a little.
A couple of houses or something in green.
I have no idea, David, because Grandpa was evidently he came here, and you know what? They had to be very diligent to end up. You know, the Grandma at one time, Grandma and Grandpa lived on the farm where Uncle Leo lived. And they had a pretty nice house there, and a barn, and...
Let me ask you a question, Mom. Do you remember hearing your grandpa speak? Did he have a Irish accent?
I don't remember him at all.
But you remember that they said that he died?
I remember... I don't remember too much except above him. I remember Grandma more than I do him. But the only thing I remember about him is him giving me, because I was
Did Grandma have an Irish accent?
I don't know.
She was from Ireland too, right?
Grandma, yes, she had Irish, because she was from Ireland.
She was from Ireland. She probably had an Irish accent.
She was a teacher, you know. She came here and taught. Yes. Her name was Lucy McGarry.
Mm-hmm.
That was her name. Lucy. Grandma Lucy.
Yeah.
Oh, she got... When us kids would go there to stay...
Do you remember hearing her speak?
Do you remember what?
Do you remember hearing her speak?
No.
Remember anything she might have said to you? Anything at all?
No.
You never had a conversation you can remember with her?
Not that I remember, David.
Well, I mean, sometimes I can remember conversations with my grandma, but I was older, you know. I was just wondering if you remember
I remember sitting at her house because she lived in town, and when we were like 4th grade in school, then they would send us to what they called catechism.
Sure.
And we'd go for a couple weeks. We had to go in and go to catechism classes.
Yeah.